and we're going to talk about brokered loan procedures for a few moments. The brokered loan procedures are located in the broker section of the portal, as you can see here. And the reason this training was deemed mandatory is because we need to make sure that we are doing the best we can from a compliance standpoint on our broker loans. We're just going to review this brokered loan procedures from top to bottom, and hopefully that clears up the mystery of brokering loans. So the first point to make is the reasons why we won't broker a loan. We won't broker a loan for pricing, and we won't broker loans if Security National offers the product internally. If you're unsure about a product, if you feel like your only option is to broker a loan but you're not sure, check with us. The Blue Crew can research our products and see if we have something that meets your borrower's needs. We always want to try to go internally first. Next, we have situations where loan officers get in touch with a broker partner. They start talking to an AE, and the ball just starts rolling. That AE is so excited to do a loan for you, and they get your 1003 going. They just start moving the loan through the process, and all of a sudden you look up and they've disclosed the loan. Sometimes they've disclosed a loan a week ago, and nobody stopped to think that the loan needed to be input into our system. We need to start trying to think about these things and ask the AE the important questions like, have disclosures gone out? Or being proactive and saying, if you're about to send disclosures, let me know, because we have to get those loans into our system too. And believe it or not, our disclosure team has a big part that they must do as well when we have a broker sending out disclosures. They have to meet compliance deadlines. Our screens have to match their screens, and that includes the date. So our dates have to be the same. So just be real careful on those few brokers out there that send disclosures on their own. This is something that we are not great at as a company, and we've got to get better. So please, oops, I'm not sure what happened here with my screen. There we go. Sorry about that. It's a constant effort to get better, but y'all just keep in touch with the Blue Crew if you are unsure, and I can definitely help walk you through the disclosure piece. Next, we have a lot of situations where we have set a file up as a retail loan. It's gone through our underwriting system, and for one reason or another, we denied the loan. We can broker those loans. We have to be real careful when we do. We want to make sure that we aren't switching the channel midstream from a retail loan to a brokered loan. We can't do that through a change of circumstance. There's really no valid reason why we can switch between a retail loan and a broker loan with the same loan number. We need to deny the loan in-house and start a new broker file and follow these procedures for that new brokered file. So those are some common questions that we get, and I hope these explanations clear it up a little bit. Next, setting up your brokered loan. We've broken this into 8 steps. So prior to triggering your loan, the first step is to create a loan in Encompass and put it on the brokered channel. If you're unable to move it to the brokered channel for whatever reason, maybe you accidentally started it as retail, just let Blue Crew know and we'll go in and switch that for you. It's very easy for us to do. The next step is, there's a screenshot right there for you. The next step is for the loan officer to call the account executive and discuss guidelines and fees. So while you're on the phone with the AE talking about qualification questions, if your loan qualifies to use their services, make sure you're asking them about fees. We want our loan officers to be responsible for inputting the fees. We have safety nets in place at the disclosure desk, but it's not a catch-all. So if everyone does their part, we can hopefully catch all the fees that need to be disclosed. Step 3 is the loan officer needs to complete the brokered loan questionnaire within Encompass. Here is a screenshot. There's just a few questions. They're self-explanatory. They're very easy. The hardest question on here is explain the reason why Security National cannot do the loan. I just ask that you guys be very specific why we cannot do the loan. Not why the other person can, but why we can't. Okay? The next step, step 4, is completing the anti-steering disclosure. This form is located under the Tools tab, not Forms. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you read the form itself, it guides you through what it's wanting. Basically, the loan officer needs to ask the AE for a rate sheet, and the loan officer needs to take that rate sheet and plug in some loan options that we can provide to our borrowers. We are required to send borrowers loan options on our brokered files. The next step is uploading the documents to the file manager. We need to make sure that anything that we are sending to our broker partner is also being uploaded into our files as well. And that's throughout the whole process, not just the beginning. Step 6 would be to email the Blue Crew. You've got your screens completed, you know what broker you're using, you've completed your forms, email us, let us take a look. We'll determine if it's a loan we can do in-house. And we'll also make sure that it's set up correctly for the disclosure desk. And at that time, we can also warn our disclosure desk that something's coming, if it's unusual, if it's something we need to do a little bit of research on. I'll have that time to do that research that's needed. Step 7 is the loan officer just needs to click the Exclude Loan from HMDA report box. This is a document that is under Forms. And there's a button up here on the top right, a little box you have to check. That'll help us with our reporting. And the last step is to place notes in the conversation log. That way, when disclosure gets your file, they know that it's already been approved and that everything's in place as it should be. If you have any specific instructions for the disclosure team, their email address is listed here. You're welcome to reach out to them for instructions. All right. Now at the very bottom of this, I've put a quick reference recap. If you're seasoned, if you've done a dozen brokered loans since you've been with Security National, you've got this down. You might want to cut out this bottom section and just have it at your desk as a recap, just reminding you of the 3 forms you got to fill out and to email the Blue Crew. It's a nice visual recap. That brings us to the second page of the procedures. This page shows you screenshots. I get asked a lot where compensation goes. Well, here it is. In Encompass, we have two places that compensation can go. There's borrower paid comp and lender paid comp. You can see here on line 1, your borrower paid comp goes in the broker fees field in line 801. And second, we've got the lender paid option. The lender paid option goes in two places. Don't forget the second place in line 802. That gets missed a lot. So there's your screenshots. And just keep in mind as a side note that the Blue Crew, we aren't going to be able to tell you if you should go borrower paid or lender paid. That needs to be a discussion between the loan officer and the account executive. And you guys will have to determine the pros and cons of both and what's better for your borrower. The third screenshot here on this page is lender credit. And that goes on the details of transaction by using the drop-down, just like we do on our retail loans. And an example of when you would use this is maybe your lender paid comp is 2% and your yield spread is 2.5%, and you'd like to give the remaining half point to the borrower. You'll list that here in the details of transaction. That concludes this page. The third page is primarily for the loan officer and processor to use during their funding of the file, how to get paid, where to send checks, things like that, back-end things. This will be your checklist. I'm not going to read through it because you guys can read through it whenever you need to fund a brokered loan. All the information you need is right here. And, of course, you can always email us for help. So there's your loan officer procedures. And, again, those are located on the portal. Also on the portal, we've still got our approved broker list. We will always keep the most up-to-date broker list on the portal. And it gets updated more often than you think. For instance, it was just updated a few days ago, or last month, rather. This will show you who we are approved to do business with. It'll tell you our comp plan with that partner, and it'll give you lender highlights. Now, these lender highlights are interesting because Brett did some homework on this over the last month or two, and he wanted to see if the lenders had any other highlights, and he's going to tell you about his discovery here in a few moments. I'll let him take it away from here.
Thank you. So, as we kind of explained that, in researching this, one of the things that we did is we put together a questionnaire for the broker to answer, because we felt like, is this really all of the products? Is this their best products? Do they offer training? What's their turn times? All these different things, and we'll show you an example of the questionnaire. But we wanted to find out really what everything was that the broker had to offer, because we had a different way of thinking about this. When you're looking at a broker deal, you're looking at it as, I've got a situation that I need to fill, and our current standard product doesn't cover it. I need to go to a niche product. I need something that fits this deal specifically. So you're always looking on the deal. You're not looking for a broker. You're looking for the way to get to that. And so what we did is we took it by product and came up with this grid situation where we can look at everything and review it by the product. Now, the first line I want to point out is who discloses. Now, we have either it's marked broker or SNMC. If it's marked with nothing, that meant that we had not had a deal with them in recent time that we knew exactly which way it went. So in the case when you start to have deals with other brokers, we'll complete it further, but we're at least giving you something that we know that can be. You'll notice that you'll even see either, meaning that you could go either way. So just take a look at that. Then you're going to go down the line and you'll see all the different programs that there are. There's a ton of them to choose from. But there's a great feature, because this is an Excel document, that allows for us to sort the document. And the nice thing about that is that you can take and hit the sort field, which is just a little down arrow right next to products. You can unselect the select all button, and now you can just pick the particular thing that you need. Whatever it might be, these are the items that we have to work from. I used one that just very simple. I used foreign national. You click the button, you hit OK, and it alleviates everything but the foreign national option. And now you know who within our brokers offers a foreign national program. Now, you're going to have to do a little more research to find out which is right for you, but you can also, go another way is you just leave it open as it would be, and it's going to select. You go through and look at all the different choices, and you go, oh, I needed this one, and you can go and look through it and evaluate who along there, just doing a rows and columns and see it that quickly as well. I like the search just because it makes it easy for me to see exactly who's there. And there's so many choices. I mean, if it's just, there's a lot of manufactured, but then there's single wides. So I have it broke down for single wides as well. Anything that I found that they were offering, I tried to put it as a category so we could either match it or have one that showed the options. So once you've picked the broker that you need to, below you'll find all the brokers listed. Now you can just click on a broker. It'll take you right down to their tab. And here's the broker information sheet. This is what I sent out to all the brokers so that we could get something back from them and gives us the information. As I said, you've got their base information. You've got other things, helpful websites. Do they provide training? Is there a scenario desk? And their turn times. Those were real big questions that a lot of us have, and we wanted to address those. Then I said, hey, give me your top 10 if you have 10. And so they went through and gave us all of them. And so all of the different brokers are there. Additionally, if they provided any additional information, we added it to it. Just for this example, we showed you the Citadel's I-10, and all the documents that they provided are in here, so it gives you more and more options to look at when you're trying to figure it out. Sure, you're going to have conversations with the other, with the broker eventually, but this gets you at least on the right track so that you're ready to move, and then you can move quickly. So really, it was all about making it an opportunity for you to do more business and not just go, oh, crikey, what am I going to do? I don't know where to even find this. Now you have at least the location to find who's doing what, and then you can have conversations. And you may find that one broker works better with you than another, and if you had to pick between the two, and those are all your choices, but at least we guided you down the road to the right spots. So really, that's the training. We don't want to make it too long. We wanted to keep it short enough, but we wanted to give you the information. We do have, now you obviously you have to, one thing that Brent did make a note of is with regards to your comp plan information, you should also talk with your individual branch managers and directors if there's anything specific for your area. Every area is different, so we never want to, as like Leslie said, we don't have anything to do with that. We just list what the corporate things are put on, and you always want to refer back to your management. So that's one thing we do want to do. Right now, I think we've answered most of the questions on there, but I'm going to open up the phone lines so that if anybody has questions, they can just go ahead and ask them now. You're unmuted, so careful what you say. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, Brett, can you put the instructions on putting their name?
I sure can.
Thank you. Everyone, please put in your name so you get credit for the training. This is important. Thank you.
We still have all of these that say viewer. They haven't done it, and if you don't put your name in, we won't know who you are to give you credit for taking the training. So
yeah, my screen was all stuck on the first slide. This is Michael P. I send a chat. So I didn't see any of the slides that you were going through.
Well, the good news is we're going to have this on a video. This will just be loaded up There's there'll be a button below the brokers that'll say video. We'll have to load it, so it's not there right now, but it'll be there, and you can watch it anytime you need to get a refresher because you haven't done a broker loan, say, in a year, and you need to go back and remember how to do it. This will be here for you.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah, I had the same issue. This is Rick Marini. There was nothing that showed up on my screen for some reason, but I guess I'll take a look at the video.
It's literally less than 15 minutes, so.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Some things you have to wet some, so how do you turn them out?
Brad, I'm sorry. In the past on some of these trainings, you guys were able to email out the slideshow to the attendees, in which case you could just kind of flip to the page you need to reference when you're doing it and kind of save it somewhere. Can you guys do that?
Well, this is actually a full video. We found the videos are easy because you can listen to what someone was saying with regards to the slide that may not be transferred with the slide. It's done with actually it's called Camtasia. So it's actually, we're taking live shots of the web and Encompass and putting it all in there. So it's literally a video. But the video will be right there. And like I say, you can fast forward through it too. So it's not like if you needed one section to remember, you can go right to that section. You can see it on your screen as you fast forward through it. Is there anything else we need? I think we're getting pretty good. We've still got a couple. We've got like 2 viewers left that didn't log in.
That looks like it's a legal size right there.
But if you guys don't have any other questions, we're going to get you on your way so that you guys, the site is up and running, so it is there for you to use, and we will get the video up and also the all the instructions and everything is there. So I thank you for your time, and we hope that this helps you on your future brokered loans. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, this is Brad in Hurst. Where do I can't find the spot. I'm sorry for registering that I was on the training.
Oh, can you see the screen?
I've pulled the portal up, but on the email that I received, it never took me to this. So I just listened to everything and dialed in.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the video will be up for you to look at. And it's recorded with the sound as well. So
well, I printed off all of the steps you guys off of the portal that